This is the podcast, not an interview. This is a conversation. No gimmicks, just reasons. 84 reasons. Come holler at me. What up, my good people? The latest installment of 84 Reasons. Man, it's hard to, every time I get a tight end on, I have to make sure I give him his just due because we don't get enough credit for being, what's the phrase I'm looking for? The best athletes on the field. They let us, got to run block, got to pass block, got to get out in the passing game. You got to play fullback. You got to pick up the blitz. You got to get the first down. You got to play special teams. You got to be the, the tight end safety blanket. You got to do everything. But if you want to know what we'll do, if given the chance, I give you the Philly special in the Super Bowl with Trey Burton. That's another Florida time. That's another day, another time. But my next guest, I don't know if he's 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". I don't care. I just know he's really, 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 really tall. All the way from Weatherford, Texas, the great Hayden Hansen. What's going on with you there, Hayden?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me on the podcast. I've been watching a couple of them with some of my teammates on it, and it's been fun to watch it.
I was listening. If you play tight end, I'm coming to get you. I done had Zip on. I done had Arliss on. I know that Odom has moved on. I know the Gamble has moved on. Didn't get a chance to get Kyle Pitts on. But I said, Hayden, man, he's easy to find. He's the same height as an offensive tackle, just a lot slimmer. Like he got a real waistline out there. But before I even get into what's going on right now in the offseason, and for those of you who don't know, if you really want to be a student athlete, college football player in particular, if you don't have serious doubts when it comes to this offseason lifting program, that's when you go, I really want to do this? 5 o'clock in the morning runs, 6 o'clock lifting sessions, trying not to sleep in my first class. We're going to get into that. But Weatherford, Texas, a little birdie told me that you was gonna go to Louisiana with Billy Napier. Then he decided he'll go to Florida, and then most people on Christmas Day, they thinking, man, what gifts am I getting? Like, what is this area? Hello, Coach Napier, what's up, baby? Like, talk about having a coach in Billy Napier who, one, you believed in him to pick him over some big schools, but to still be on his mind enough on Christmas Day, Hayden. He got a lot of things going on. He said, let me call Hayden to make sure I know he knows I want you to come with me to games.
Yeah, so it was crazy. My whole career, from kindergarten to beginning of junior year, I played quarterback. So a big part of my recruitment was the big thing was I didn't have enough film. That was always a thing that came up. So going into my senior year, I just finished my first year at tight end. I went to the SMU mega camp, which is there's about 60 D1 schools that go there and watch. And I ran into Coach Desimo, who is now the UL head coach, but he was the tight end coach under Napier. And they weren't even looking for a tight end at the time, but he just saw me ahead over people, and he took a video and sent it to Napier. And he was like, oh, we got to get this guy up here. So I flew down to Louisiana, did a little private workout for him in the indoor, which, by the way, I think they were making sure I could handle the heat down there because they shut all the doors, they turned off the AC. It was like a sauna in there. So I did my private workout, showered, went up to his office. He ended up offering me there. That was one of my first offers early on before senior year. And we left, came back for the cookout, brought my family. That's what kind of sold it. My family loved Napier. We all bought into him. People were calling me crazy for committing there instead of Washington State or Colorado, but I wasn't hearing any of that. I believed in Napier. I saw the players he's produced, and I would have been happy to go to UL with him.
I got to take a quick break real quick to make sure you guys understand that while I appreciate all the support you guys give me, and I love the support, make sure you support these student athletes by going to the best, the greatest NIL platform in the country. We talking about Florida Victorious. And when you become a member, make sure you go to the coupon code and type in 84 reasons. I know you're saying to yourself, what do I get? You get 20% off your first month's membership. That's 20% off, but the only way you get it is by typing 84 reasons in the coupon code. That's Florida Victorious. If you love the orange and blue, like I know you do, like I know we do, make sure you type in 84 reasons in the coupon code to get 20% off. That's 20% off your first month's membership. Now let's get back to the action. I mean, number one, I mean, we ain't gonna just move past that. Play quarterback your whole life. Like I play quarterback. I hear this story of you and another guy. Y'all both play quarterback. They got to get y'all out there at the same time. Like, look, high school, a lot of guys play out of position. We got to get the best athletes out there. We got the 6 best athletes in the school. We put y'all all on offense and defense together. But to go from being behind center, seeing the whole field, to putting your hand in the ground, what made the tight end position fit you? Because you got the size, you got the ability, but just because someone says, hey man, you tall, man, got some size to you, they're gonna tell you 2 things, either defensive end or tight end. They told you tight end. What was it about tight end to make Hayden go, all right, because number one, you go from I got to know the whole offense. I got to know, I got to know the pass protection. I got to know the blocking scheme to I got what? You got this. That's it. You got this on this play, coach. What was it about the tight end position that made Hayden say, hey, man, I think I can rock with this?
Yeah, so at first it was brought up, and I'm kind of a hard-headed dude. So they brought it up at first. I was like, nah, I'm a quarterback my whole life. I'm going to stick with it. And my original plan, I moved to Weatherford to take over for Ken Seals, the starting quarterback for Vanderbilt. He just transferred to TCU. That was my plan. That's the whole reason I moved there. And so he was bringing in a bunch of scouts watching him, and I wasn't cleared yet, so I was just watching their practice. And I had a couple OU scouts, tech scouts. There's one thing they'd ask me, like, why don't you play tight end? Like, you're perfect for it. And once I heard that over and over again, I was like, you know what? Maybe my coach is right. Let's give it a try. So our first scrimmage, I played both quarterback and tight end, and had a couple good plays at tight end. Kind of fell in love with it. I mean, to this day, though, there's still things I'm learning, because it's a very developmental position, like your hand placement, your blocking footwork. The biggest thing for me was the terminology when I first got here, talking to the tackles, communicating with everybody. So those are the things I really nailed down.
I mean, I like the fact that you brought it up yourself. You talk about it's a developmental position, meaning even guys like myself who played it since, I didn't play tight end until I got to high school. So when the first time somebody told me go to tight end, I just, I ran over there. And I can tell you what a running back was. I can tell you what a wide receiver was. Fullback was tight end. So I hit them with the what's that? And they told me what it was. And they didn't give me the option of you're playing this. Like either you're playing this or, you're going to have to. But the tight end position has become that glamorous. The tight end on offense is like outside linebacker on defense. Tight ends are asked to do a lot now, especially in the passing game. Meaning, you listen, you 6'6", 6'7", 250, 260. They'll put you at the Y more than the U, not realizing, well, I can play the U. It just depends on what you want me to do at the U. You and Zip and Arliss and you guys are different all play the same position, but you need different guys. If they ask Arliss to do what you do, not saying he couldn't be successful at it, but he wouldn't be as successful at it. Talk about your game, though, because when I see your game, hey, I see a guy that says, listen, man, you cannot coach height, and you cannot coach catch radius, and you have both. Because I know one of your, obviously, if you're from the state of Texas, obviously you're going to root for Jason Witten. Unless you live on the rock, yes, Jason Witten is going to be one of your favorite tight ends, but Gronk is a guy to me that as great as Gronk might be the greatest, even though Travis Kelce might have something to say about it. Gronk is not the most fluid athlete you ever seen with the ball. He's very reckless when he gets the ball. There is nothing beautiful about his game with the ball in his hand. The only thing he does, though, you got to make decisions. Hey, do I want to tackle this dude? Because, hey, man, if I got to run this route, if I get the ball in my hand, I don't got to be shifty. I don't got to be a freak of an athlete like Kyle Pitts. I don't got to be the best all-around tight end in the NFL right now, George Kittle. I just got to get into the end zone. And he did that a lot. Your game is one to where, listen, you probably put a lot of ice on your knees. Because any DB say, I ain't dealing with that dude, man. Who Hayden? Oh, no. I mean, if Hayden don't know I'm going low by now, how has that transition been? Because when you're tall, you got to play low, right? And that's the thing is you got to keep your pads low, Hayden. You got to. How has that? Because little 2 or 3 years into the position, and now you playing. You got Georgia one week, you got Kentucky next week, you got Tennessee next week. How has that transition been for you, Hayden, knowing that, look, the less I have to think when I'm out there, the better I am as a player?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, when you look at my game, I take a lot of pride in run blocking. Obviously, that's my world. I feel like I'm pretty dominant in there. But I feel like a lot of people kind of undermine my passing abilities too. I feel like obviously I'm not going to go out there and run a 4.3 like scorch anybody. But I feel like the short to intermediate routes, I'm pretty good. I can get separation. I can move the chains. That's always what I'm going to focus on too. I can always improve on the routes aspect of everything. And so that, yeah, I'd say like transitioning to like the SEC, like in game, that would probably be the biggest thing, is how quick the DBs recognize the routes and how quick they break on them. And for like the run game part of it, like the DNs, like if he's in like a wide 9, like some freaky stuff might happen. Like he might hit you with the in out. He might like Jared Burks. I mean, that dude, hats off to that guy. I mean, he's different. It's just things like that you start to notice, especially going into my second year of playing. I'm definitely going to be a little quicker in those aspects of what to expect, especially in pass pro. So
the one thing I will give you, I'm not the former tight end that gives a lot of advice, but because you're so tall, you're going to dominate on the intermediate routes. The 10 yards in, the 12, even though tight ends don't get to run it, Jason Witten made a living on the option route. Him and Tony Romo just threw another one, because if they playing outside, I turn in. They playing inside, I turn out. They playing inside, I just go and turn up for the ball. But for you, it's just saying, look, just don't get high at the top of your route. That's it. That's literally it, because DBs know he got to give me something to grab. DBs are saying, a DB will hold you all the way. I will hold Hayden all the way. I do, because they know, number one, vertical route, just straight go. You got the 5-yard out. You got the 10-yard. Gronk made a living on the 10-yard out. I don't know how. When are people gonna realize, dude, he's finna run a 10-yard out? Why? Listen, he gonna clear the DN. Because the DN don't want to deal with Gronk. The DN don't want to get chipped by Gronk, because he'll never get a sack. And that's a good thing. That's another good thing I didn't learn about blocking is, if I'm a great blocker, I'm making the DNs nervous, because now it's like, well, dude, is this dude coming off? Is he going out for a route? Being a great blocker makes your releases, because tight end is all about the release, getting in the phase. But with you, I say, well, hey, and I said, look, if I'm OC, if I'm Billy Napier, I'm saying, bro, get the ball in his hand. What do you mean? That's why they made flat routes. That's why they made wide sticks. That's why they made, And here's the thing, though. On the goal line, though, this is what I don't like, though, Hayden. This is what they're going to do. Hayden 6'6", they're going to put him out wide, throw him a fade. No. Let him run up. Listen, man, give me that. Listen, man, give me that wide sticking up. What? Yeah. Run it. Listen, really run it, though. Really don't, because, if we know the ball coming, the route to get real fast. It's supposed to be a 5, to be a 3. Really run that stick and let that people. I'm gonna pick it off and turn up. And I'm telling Merce, just put it. Listen, he can. I know he's caught a couple of alleys in his day. Just throw it up a little bit to him.
We have thrown that route before. Hasn't made it to the game, though.
We call it what they call it the wide 9. It's just a wide 9, little 5. Mm-hmm. But you were at a time, Hayden, to where the tight end position is no longer. He just evens the old line out. No. Y'all asked to do a lot, and that's the good thing in today's offense, not just for Florida, but college, pro. I need a tight end that can run routes, but I got to have a tight end to where and I'm going to say this, and Jimmy Graham, I love you. Love Jimmy Graham. Love him. But the whole world knew if Jimmy Graham's in the game, you're not running to him. You run it, that's backside. And Jimmy Graham, great. He ain't talked about enough of what he means to the passing game, but I don't want to be one-dimensional. And I used to hear that say, don't be one-dimensional, not realizing, dude, if you in the game and they can run and throw, you good. Whereas if you come in the game, they're like this. Oh, okay. Dime, nickel, they fixing it. You seem to be a guy that said, I love blocking. Like, that's what I do. Why so much pride in the blocking game, especially not even being a tight end that long? Where did the love of blocking come from?
Yeah, I know my personal strengths, and I'm a big team guy. I feel like whatever you can do to your best ability, you do it for the team. And obviously, when I go out there, and play six. Like I think it was there were a couple. I think Tennessee and Vanderbilt, I didn't even have a target. But and obviously it doesn't get talked about. You don't get a bunch of recognition, but you're helping the team. You know, I'm helping Montrell run off my butt after I kick out the end, stuff like that. I mean, it's just personal pride, you know. And I know that I can make the guy behind me better, or I can give Graham that extra second in pass pro. You know, it's just that's the thing I'm best at right now. And the passing game is not far behind. I'll tell you that. I'm going to nail that down this offseason, and I'll be pretty balanced, but. I feel like Napier has a certain security with me, like in pass pro stuff, and I take full responsibility for that, and I go out there and give it my all.
As I mentioned earlier, I mean, you was gonna follow Napier. You know, had he never left Louisiana to come to Florida, you would have been like, "Listen, I'm gonna be in Louisiana." What is it about Billy Napier, though? I know he's building a culture. People who don't know, cultures don't happen in a day. It don't happen in a year, maybe not even 2 or 3 years. But what was it about Billy Napier to let you know, look? Coach, I was gonna come with you to Louisiana, and it's hot down there. But if you want to go to this place called Gainesville, you know, I went to SMU and dealt with this heat. You're gonna have to let me know about this heat. What was it about Napier to let Hayden, Hansen know, man, wherever Napier is, I am.
So first off, that was the one coach my mom just hands down loved. She fully bought into him, and that meant a lot to me personally. But I'm a big process guy, like detailed guy, and I don't think there's a coach in the world that's more detailed than Napier. He has every single second to the minute, like just everything is detailed, it has a plan. Like you'll look, especially during season, that's when it gets crazy because like he'll have us from, let's say, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. He has a plan every single minute until 6 p.m. Like there's not a time where you're not doing anything, you know? And it's crazy because it's just his system and it's just how he functions. And I benefit off that because I'm a big show me and I'll do it to my best ability, you know, and it's making me and my teammates better.
We live in you grow up in the social media, world to where everybody has access. Now, even crazier. I mean, what is it about Billy Napier that people just don't understand? You talked about his process. I talked about the culture that he's building. It don't always happen in year 1, year 2. The wins don't come the way you want to. But you talked about, listen, don't mean we ain't working. Don't mean that we ain't attention to detail. Doesn't mean that we don't know what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to do it. What is it about Billy Napier? Strictly because he might not necessarily have got the wins yet that people don't want to give him patience and understand this man is coming.
Yeah, I mean, he's also not one of those coaches that like ring his own bell, you know. He's a very humble guy too. So, I mean, he gets on social media when he has to or to let like people know when he has a recruit. He's really connected more to the team and to the recruits. But on the flip side, I mean, this is Florida. Fans want to get back to the glory days. I understand that. We understand that. We're working hard to get back to that standard. But, I mean, it is important, like you said, to know that. I mean, Napier came in and basically Mullen just kind of stopped recruiting is what I heard. So he kind of had to recruit extra, try to get more people in, you know. So, I mean, he's working. I promise you guys that. And I really do feel like we're going to get there sooner than people think.
I mean, speaking of working, Hayden, I mean, everybody's like, oh, I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Florida. Then they show some of these workout videos. I mean, I know y'all boys dressed to the nine. Y'all all going to be tucked in, looking good. But then I see, Graham Mertz doing a tug of war with Big Dez. With you behind Big Dez. I mean, off-season workouts. They're just taking me back. Please tell the people, because your mama go, hey, do you look different? Yeah, I went through an all-season workout program. I don't even, the food, I eat food, it doesn't really process in my stomach. It's like, talk about the all-season program and how in 1 year, people here bigger, stronger, faster. But talk about the all-season program. I know you guys got a new strength coach in. How was it going for you guys?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's brand new. We basically just learned the fundamentals because, I mean, obviously Napier has phases, and right now we're in phase 1. So the first week we got back was learning slower, learning the system, but now it's full blast, man. And I will say, everyone in that locker room, you can ask anybody you want, everyone dreads Wednesdays. That is the day where we don't lift, just straight team run. And that's when you saw the tug of war with Big Dez and me and Graham. So it's split up into 11 teams. And I'm on Dez's team, obviously, and we went against Graham's team in tug of war. And I mean, it was just piece of cake. But so there's about seven stations, and it's brutal, man. It's a gauntlet, and He's big on mental toughness, not showing any signs you're tired, like nothing like this or hips or bending over. I really like the mentality he's brought over from the Giants. It's helping.
I mean, when you talk about the camaraderie of this team, I mean, Big Dez, Graham Mercer deciding to come back. I mean, I know you got guys like yourself. We talk about the tight end room. We talk about the receiver. But you cannot fake camaraderie. You just can't. Coach Napier can't say you guys got to love each other. He can't. He can demand it. It don't mean you got to do it. You guys got to like each other. He can demand it. What is it about the culture that Coach Billy Napier is building? I think I heard you say, speaking of someone that's talked about diversity, from who your roommates are to who your locker is next to because a lot of times people think he's tight end, he hangs with tight ends. Well, yeah, during the day or in the meeting room on the field, but talk about that camaraderie that he's building naturally. Like I'm gonna put y'all here together, and I'm gonna force you guys to decide: do you want this to be a coach-led team or a player-led team? The player-led teams are the teams that go far because all we got out there on that field is each other. As great as coaches that y'all have, and y'all got some of the best, if not the best. But out there in that field, when it's hot, and ain't nobody but us and them, it better be, I know this guy next to me. I know why he plays. I know why he's here. I know his parents. I know his siblings. Talk about that team camaraderie that coach seems to be really, really big on.
Yeah, this goes back to Napier being very detailed oriented. So when we first got here, we rooted in the stadium house. I think we were the first class to go to the stadium house. He mapped it out perfectly, like to people that you wouldn't just go randomly pick unless you knew him. I roomed with Shamar, Trace Smack, Max Brown, Andrew Savaianaya, those four. I probably would have talked to any of them because we're just all from different parts of and those are probably my four closest friends right now, and especially last year, we were all pretty tight. And when Max got his start against FSU, I was hyped for him. He threw me a nice little wheel route. I was glad I got to get a catch with him before he left. But it's just stuff like that. And then when we first got the facility built, my true freshman year, he mapped out the whole locker room, and he put people next to each other that he noticed didn't talk as much. So I think he put me next to Xavier Henderson. That was my locker mate. And then next to me was Zip, because I came in the summer. I didn't come early, so I didn't know anyone. So he put me between those two, and I knew Xavier better than anyone on the team. He was a great guy, but I would have never known that if I wasn't put in that situation. So he just has a plan for everything.
Social awkwardness, being hesitant, being shy, things we deal with in life. Coach Napier, I'm gonna show you how to deal with it. But it's private. It's in the locker room. Things that, you looking at this guy going, man, I thought you were just a football. No. I'm a football coach, but we got, I'm introduced to you. So let me show you that I can. All coaches know is body language. They know us better. All they do is sit back and watch. They go, all right, let me put two guys who are forced to talk to each other, and they can work out things on their own. And like you said, I know Xavier better than anybody on the team. If whoever you're locker next to, it's going to be one or two things. It's either going to be a real great experience or really, really weird. Because we some weird football players, we some weird people. But that's why the locker room is what it is. That's why they never got cameras in there unless it's after a game. They'll come in there for about 5-10 minutes. But SEC football, everybody talks about it. I don't care what part of the world you live in. Obviously, being in the great state of Texas, about, I know Texas is coming over. Texas A&M was already in it. I was blessed enough to do it, but Hayden, you doing it right now. Tell the listeners just how crazy it is, because people say there is no warm-up. Oh, we got this team now. No, it wasn't. It's Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia. LSU, it's just back to back to back. And there are no easy wins. There are always a hard loss. But how was your experience being in the SEC? What are your early impressions of it?
Yeah, my first impressions were, it's just the first of all, it's the crowds. It's kind of cool when you travel to see different fan bases. No one compares to the Swamp, though. Hands down, no biasness, just nothing compares to the Swamp, man. Crazy, it's awesome. But so learning how to deal with crowd noise. I think I had I had one penalty all year against Georgia. I had a false start. I was turning around talking to Arliss about our combination, and you know how they stem. I turned back. I couldn't hear. I just turned back, see the guy move, so I go to block him, and I was like, ah. But I mean, it's little things like that. If you're not completely locked in these SEC games, you can't hear, and you'll lose train of thought, and you got to really be locked, have the chemistry next to your teammates to know if they give you a call or an audible, because Graham can only yell so loud, you know. So you just have to really be tuned in.
Tennessee at night. I mean, everybody's watching. This atmosphere was crazy. We'll that the Tennessee quarterback that will go unnamed said some things in the offseason that you just don't say. I mean, you can say it, but you don't mean it. Even if you do mean it, you don't know what you're talking about. But what was that like though, Hayden? I mean, because it's one thing to watch it on TV, like, God, that's crazy. But you're there. I see Graham come. I call it the Graham wand. I don't know what it was. He grab it, he do his little, he swing for the fences. What was that atmosphere like? And it seemed like it was standing room on, like nobody sat down for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, so that whole week prepared for Tennessee, we walked into the weight room the first day, and there's a screenshot of his tweet and a picture printed out, put on every single rack, and put on all the TVs, and it fired people up. Like Big Dez, he was pretty upset. Scooby was pretty upset. It really just it kind of put a smile on my face. I was like, okay, this is going to be an awesome game. Like, there's no way we're losing this game. We just put a chip on our shoulder. And we went out there and took care of business. I mean, that was probably hands down my favorite game. And that was me and Odom that game. I mean, we kind of switched a little bit, but me and Odom that game, it was pretty fun. That was the first time starting with him. So
South Carolina, big comeback. Real back and forth affair. For those who don't know, I mean, I'm gonna give him credit. I do agree with Hayden. There is no atmosphere like the Swamp. None. Now, you got certain schools come close. When South Carolina is doing their thing, that stadium is, Mr. Flying Spur. That's that little dumb little little mascot name, Akaki, or whatever his name is. But what was that game like? Because Spencer Rattler, he talk a little trash. It's fine. He talk a little trash. In his mind, the reason why he talked trash is because when he thought he forgot you had South Carolina, you ain't at Oklahoma. I realized, first time he played, this got a little ugly. But what was that atmosphere like? Because, like you mentioned, Columbia, all that. I guess it's maroon and black. That's really not a color combo. I'm gonna wear all maroon. Looks burgundy and brown mixed. Who cares? It doesn't look good. But what was that atmosphere like up there in Columbia? You guys back and forth affair, listen, I saw that play before it even. I said, oh, wait a minute. You're gonna put Ricky Pearsall one-on-one. Sorry, cornerback. That play was over before he even. I said, yeah, it's about to be lights out. But talk about that atmosphere coming out with the big dub on the road.
Yeah, that was probably honestly my favorite crowd away wise. I mean, it was pretty electric. It was crazy. I mean, we had a tight end that transferred there, Nick Elskins. He went there too, yes. So we kind of wanted to beat him for bragging rights too. But yeah. It was crazy. I've never seen Mertz locked in for a game before. He told me before the game, he was like, I listen to this in my car every day at the facility. Like, that song where I don't know what it's called, but with the towels, you know what they do?
Oh yeah.
He said he listens to that song every day until that game, and you could tell when it first got on the sideline, he was getting into it. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a fun one. And the first half, I thought it was pretty smooth. We knew it was going to be close though. At halftime, we knew it was going to be a shootout. And coming down to the last two drives, I didn't play the last two because it was 2-minute mode and it was fast. So they put Arliss in, put him at receiver a little more. And just watching that from the sideline, I couldn't believe it, man. My heart was racing. I've never really been in a situation like that before where I can't control or like contribute. I was Arliss's biggest fan. I was like, come on, man. And eventually we got it done. But I'll also never forget. I would have never thought Trevor Etienne would throw me a 2-point conversion. Like, I thought that was the most random. Yeah. But so I mean, that whole game was cool, man. I'll never forget that game.
I mean, when you play this game, the moments and the memories. That's what I always talk about. But I would be remiss. You mentioned Arliss. You talk about Zip coming back. You got yourself the tight end position in 1 year has really shown. Hey man, we here. We all different. You know, we come in different shades and sizes, but we might have 40 numbers, you know, we might have single digit numbers, we might have tight end numbers like, you know, I don't know, 89. Talk about you guys as a group though, because each one of y'all skill set is different, but that's kind of what you want, because I want to find a niche for myself. I don't want to play just like Arliss. I don't want to play just like Zip. And obviously you're gonna be easy to spot him. When you come out there go Hayden. Hayden looks like he played with Coach Golden and them last night. He out there hooping. Did he come over here? He come over here with us. But the tight end position is one that makes this offense that much more. We know what we got coming back at receiver. We know what the running backs are. You know, even with guys, you know, jumping to the portal, we wish them the best. But talk about the tight end room and how far y'all come in 1 year, because a lot of y'all got Zip obviously being the elder statesman now. But you guys are still real young. Talk about y'all contributions at 23 and how y'all looking to add to that in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of the room last year. We took a huge step forward, proved a lot of people wrong. Napier calls it the land of misfit toys because everyone in there besides Zip all played a different position before college. So I mean, it's pretty cool to see us all develop, especially with me and Arliss. Really, and with Zip coming back, he has a lot of veteran experience to share. I was sad to see Odom go. I wish he would have stayed too. We had a lot of experience in that room, and now with me and Arliss getting a whole season under our belt, it'll help us a lot. And I feel like us three can do a lot of damage. Especially because, like you said, we're all different. And when you put two of us on the field at the same time, you don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be a pass? Is it going to be a run? Is it going to be both? You play action, you don't know. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what it's going to look like because the Zip obviously couldn't play last year. So
listen, basically what Hayden is saying is we want that trade package. Yeah, we want Zip, Arliss, and Hayden on the field at the same time. You can do it in 4 minutes. You know how dangerous that makes them. Those stages like what? Say the Napier calls them the land of misfit toys. Please put that on the shirt. Please, Florida Victorious, Gator Maid. I mean, Gator Maid, Miss Savannah Bailey. Any one of y'all, the land of misfit toys is the greatest name I've ever heard for tight ends. Like ever. I mean, ever. But Hayden, before I let you out of here, man, and I have enjoyed you. This is the latest installment of 84 Reasons. I'm sitting here with number 89 on the field. 6'7", 6'8". He's tall as he want to be, right? Tall as he want to be, the great Hayden Hansen. Hayden, you are a guy to me that no one would have ever known you didn't play the tight end position if you wouldn't tell them. When I heard you only been playing for 2 or 3 years, how much more dangerous does that make you? Because no matter what, they're going to say, well, Arliss, he played receiver in high school, and then Hayden played quarterback. How dangerous can your game be? Because right now, you out there going, all right, let me make sure I take the proper steps. Let me make sure I get to my depth. Let me make sure I don't lean in or out. Let me make sure I don't stand up at the top of my route. Let me make sure I come out of my breaks. When Hayden Hansen said, all right, I know what the defense is trying to do. I know what coverage they're going to be in. I know how I fit. Get me the rock. And may God bless y'all soul on defense because I'm coming forward. I am a battering ram. I am a bull in the China house. I don't care. How dangerous is Hayden Hansen when he puts it all together?
No, I can't wait, man. I'm working every day to get closer to that point. A lot of film study, a lot of defensive studies and recognizing coverages, which I'm pretty good at just because I've been a quarterback. But it's a little different when you're at tight end. You don't got that whole field of vision. It's getting there. It's close, man. Just know I'll be working all off season for that, and I'll be way more comfortable than I was last year. So we'll see what happens.
Had you happened, and I had a bunch of your teammates on here. You know, Graham. When I had Graham Mercer on here, I asked him. I said, "Man, how would you describe this team?" He said, "Hungry and ready." That's what he said. Now I'm asking you, Hayden, how? That's what he said about this team. How would Hayden Hansen describe this team right now?
I got one sentence. I'm just going to say we got a huge chip on our shoulder. We feel like the record that we left last year does not represent this team, and we're going to do everything in our power to flip the script and change the view on us.
Listen, he's going to flip the script, We didn't. What the record is not an indication of who we are. Man, I'm come from the land of misfit toys. Yeah. But guess what? Somebody want me though. Just because I'm a misfit just means, man, I don't fit the norm. Well, I'm 6'7". I ain't never fit the norm. I know. I was about to go crazy. I heard you were part of the moped gang, though. I heard that 6'7" got a moped riding through Gainesville. Somebody going, is that Hayden? Yes, it's me. I just got one question. Do you wear a helmet?
No. So I had a moped my first year here.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling it. I actually crashed it one time going to 6 a.m. workouts, half asleep, turning into the facility. I was went over my head and boost. But I fixed it, sold it. I was like, screw that. I just started using my truck. I bought a stand-up scooter. It's a little safer. But
So he went from a moped to a truck, got a stand-up scooter. Listen, I was about to say, if you got a moped and you never wrecked it, you ain't really pushed the limit. If you've never been in a wreck on a moped, you're safe. You're going the speed limit. No, I had a moped when I was in college. Well, I wrecked more than my moped in college. Wrecked teammates' mopeds and things of that nature. But Hayden, listen, please stay healthy. Looking forward to watching you in 2024. I love what you said about Billy Napier, and you said I like his process. I'm a process-driven guy. He's a process-driven guy. And look, man, like I said, Florida Victorians. Please, the land of misfit toys is the tight ends at the University of Florida. And that's for life. I have a misfit toy. Think about this. Most people can identify with a quarterback. Most people identify with a running back, a receiver. What you play, tight end? They go, because they don't know what that is. Yeah. Listen, if you want to know what a tight end is, I give you 2 words: Taylor Swift. That's what a tight end is. And I'm talking about Travis Kelce, by the way. I'm not talking about her, but I have to edit that part out. But hey, man, keep doing what you're doing. Tell Arliss, tell Zip, Mr. 2 ERs himself. Y'all boys just keep doing what you're doing. I love your game. I like the way but at the end of the day, it seems like they're letting y'all do a little bit more when y'all score. I don't know if they're letting y'all dance a little bit, but I want the swag to come out. You doing this for Weatherford. You ain't doing this for me. You doing this for Texas. Because as much as people love they boroughs in Florida, these Duval boys, these Dade County boys, I heard about y'all Texas boys. Y'all love where y'all from. Not like it. Love where they from. The biggest high school cafeterias you ever seen in your freaking life. It's a Subway in there, Chick-fil-A in there. I ain't never seen nothing like it. So when you got to college, they said, man, how you like these crowds? They are a little bit bigger than the ones that I'm used to playing with. Just a little bit, because we got some nice facilities in the great state of Texas. Hayden, man, I appreciate you taking the time. Stay healthy. Leave Graham alone on the tug of war, man. Big Dex, Big Dez, that's it. And listen, and tell Big Dez when you see him, stop ducking me. I don't mean, listen, now if you get mad, tell him I'm sorry. I don't want no problems with Big Dez. But tell Big Dez, man, come on over here, man. He is Hayden Hansen. I am being true. This is the latest installment, 84 Reasons. No games, no gimmicks, just reason. What's the reason? Land of misfit toys. We out of here. Always.